In this session, we're going to look at comfort levels and what it's like to live in habitats. If we look at this chart, we'll see that on one axis, we have relative humidity as a percentage, and on the other axis, temperature in centigrade as well as Fahrenheit. We can see from this chart that during summer, as human beings, we are happier with the weather being warmer on condition that it is slightly drier from a relative humidity perspective. As opposed to in winter, we are more comfortable if it is colder on condition that the relative humidity is higher or that the air is more moist. So what does this actually mean for us? Let's have a look and compare with what happens inside the habitat on the Antarctic. There's a team on the Antarctica, and what they have is that they have an identical weather station kit to the one that you're using. And this data was collected on the dashboard between the 3rd of April and the 25th of July in 2020. If we have a look at this period of the year, we will know that in the southern hemisphere, that would have been winter. So therefore, this temperature ranging anywhere between 10 and 17 degrees centigrade must have been inside the habitat. Outside the habitat, it would have been -40, maybe even as cold as -60 degrees centigrade. Then let's have a look at the relative humidity inside this habitat. This is very low. This relative humidity is between 10 and 20%. So let's see how that matches with our comfort chart. It actually looks as if in both cases, it's off the chart, which means that it's way out of their comfort zone. If we have a look here at the temperature as well as the humidity, very dry and cold. The feedback from the team that lives in that habitat is that they have many symptoms in terms of dry skin, etc., associated with extremely cold, dry air. This habitat is not completely airtight as a space station would be. So therefore, it doesn't matter how many humidifiers they use, the humidity actually does escape from the habitat and ends up in the wilderness of Antarctica. Let's have a look at some of the other conditions they experience on Antarctica. This is a graphic of our planet, and we can see here that it denotes North Magnetic Pole as well as the South Magnetic Pole. And these lines represent the magnetic field that surrounds our planet. We can see that the magnetic field is the thickest or the widest around our equator. And since these magnetic field lines converge at both the magnetic north and south poles, the field is very, very, very thin. And why does this matter? If we have a look at another graphic, definitely not to scale, we can see that our sun emits not only natural light, but also we are exposed to solar winds, and the solar wind comprises many charged particles, which can cause cancers because of the radiation levels coming from our sun. So we can see once again that the field around the equator is really protecting our planet and us as living beings as well from that very harmful radiation. However, let's have a look at where they are in Antarctica. They are in an area where these solar winds can actually reach the surface of the planet because of the convergence of the magnetic field at the magnetic South Pole as well as the magnetic North Pole. So therefore the team there is exposed to a lot of solar radiation. During summer months, even if it is relatively warm, well, it'll still be sub-zero, but it'll be relatively warm, they still won't spend too much time outside because they don't want to be exposed to too much solar radiation. Here is an activity that you can conduct. Using your weather station, measure the temperature and relative humidity in as many rooms as possible. Plot your findings on the comfort level charts. Which room are you most comfortable in? Based on your choice, this will actually determine whether you regard yourself as a winter person or a summer person.